Hi guys. So today I wanted to show you one of the cool things about kitchen sink stamps is that you can purchase SVG files. And what SVG files do is they basically give you a cut file for your stamped images. So you don't have a die if you have an electronic cutting machine like a Silhouette or Cricut. I am using the Silhouette 2 machine. So I just want to show you how easy it is. So what you do is, and you can see I have it ready to go here, but you will get an email and the email will send you the SVG and you download it, which let me show you here. So these are my emails that I've gotten, and then I've just downloaded them. And then once you download them, they save into your computer wherever you want them saved. And you go into your Silhouette and you open wherever you've saved it from. So I have mine saved in my download folder here. So here, this one's for skates. So a whole bunch of files saved in there. And what I've done is over here, I have set my machine up to 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. And I've set it up to cut 3 sets of the tulip file. So let me just show you. They are already sized to go. So this is what the set looks like. So you can see I fit 3 sets onto one piece of paper. So 1, 2, 3. What that means is I will be able to stamp out all of these images on this sheet of paper. So I'm going to send this to cut now. Sorry about the shakiness, trying to hold everything up here. And you can see it's already ready to cut, and I'm going to change this to cardstock. And this is pretty heavy. Okay, I think my blade is set okay, and hit send. All right, so now you're going to hear my cameo cutting. You see it there. So once that's done cutting, I will bring you guys back on so you can see what the result is. I'll be back. Okay guys, I'm back. So that took a few minutes, but I wanted to show you how it cut all the tulips out. Now there's a couple of things you can do. You can stamp right on this. However, because these are layered stamps, you probably want to align them. So I'm going to show you a little trick here. We are going to very carefully remove the background here. We'll get to the images in a second. And I did put the cameo on double cut, so because this is a little thicker cardstock, again, this is the Nina Solar White Classic Crest, so it's a little heavier cardstock. All right, got a little rip there, no big deal. Spatula tool here. Okay. A little stem. Okay, so I'm going to push my flowers off to the side a second. Then I'm going to take this piece, and I know that I had 2 sections, so I'm going to carefully, actually, should have done that a different way. We want to keep this, and I'll show you why in a second. I am going to try to cut this without cutting any of my flowers. Pretty good there. Okay, and then we have these 3 here. Okay, so I have a template now for the smaller flowers. And then for the larger flowers, I think I'm just going to freehand cut this. Okay, so now we have these two templates. And what we can do is get our stamping platform, you know, your Misty, your Tim Holtz, your Stamparatus, whatever you have. I'm just going to grab this one in front of me. And then you want to put whatever you're going to stamp on. So let's have some scratch paper here. Sorry, you're not going to do that. You're going to put your template in here. So we're going to put our magnets on our templates here. I forgot they were already cut out. Okay. So now all you do is puzzle piece in what you want to stamp. But before we do that, we want to grab our stamped images. So this coordinates with the multi-step tulip garden from Kitchen Sink Stamps. I don't know where my, oh, here's my color coordinated piece. And so these images will match with the stamp. So for instance, let's start with number 1A is going to be this stem, and I'm just going to lay my stamp in there and it'll fit in like a puzzle piece. This makes it so easy to line up these images now that we have a template. So we know that's going to be that one. And then the long skinny one, I believe, is this one here. Okay. So now we can close our Misty door. And you could actually do the flowers too. Right now I'm just going to do the stems. So now we're going to go over and pull our flower stems off of here. So we have this one. We're just going to place it back, puzzle piece it back in there. And sometimes it helps to have a little spatula tool. Okay, and now we're just going to start inking. So the first layer is always the lightest color. I'm using Altenew, I think this says Frayed Leaf. And it should stamp and line up perfectly for us. Okay, so layer 1 is done. I think I need a little more ink on this little guy here. I'm going to stamp them again. Okay, and now what I can do, instead of changing my stamps out right away, since I have these already pre-cut, I'm just going to pull these out, pull out another set, put that in there. Okay, and ink the second setup. Okay, that one looks pretty good. And so on. Now, we want to use the second layer, so I'm going to put these all back in. I'm not going to go through stamping all of the flowers right now. We'll do that in a second. Oops, I missed the center on this one. Let's do that. Let's fix that one. Oh, I see it tucked down underneath. It moved during the stamping process. Don't do that. Let me put my little magnet on the top. Oh, can't put the magnet on it because then you won't be able to stamp on it. There we go. Got it that time. Okay. So now we're going to leave our stamped images in there. Clean off our layer 1 stamps. Okay, and go to layer 2. And again, you can take your images out, line this up with your template. It'll fit right in like a puzzle. Line this up with the template. You can do this with any die cut images. It just makes it easier, especially with these because they're so detailed, layered stamps. I might have to adjust this one. I don't think this one is correct. Okay. This one's very thin at the bottom, so it doesn't want to lay correctly. Okay, the top is all right. All right. We'll just have to stamp it and see. Okay, now we're going to put our stems back in. They're already stamped with layer 1 ink. And if it helps, you can put like a little bit of removable adhesive underneath there. Second color of ink that I'm using is called Forest Glades. There, my stem moved there out of the way. Okay, and then there is a third layer. I'm not going to stamp those right now. Let's move on to the flower part. So we'll move our magnets down here and move this little guy up. Okay, and the same thing goes for the heads of the flowers, the tulip heads. So the largest one we have trying to look at these, make sure I have the right coordinating face. Okay, so this is 1D, so this is a 2-layer. Nope. 1D and then 1B. And they fit right in there perfectly. Okay, so I think for these we'll do some yellows and oranges, I guess. So this first one is called Fresh Lemon. bright yellow for this first layer. And I'm going to stamp the other two real quick since we're already here. Okay, second layer is going to be maple yellow. And I think these are 4 layers, so it should be okay here. 2 more layers and then we are done. Okay, another darker color yellow. This one is called Honey Drizzle. And then we have 1 more layer and our tulips will be done. Okay. Now for this last layer, there's an open area in the stamp right there. Let me show you. Okay, so right here, there's an open area. So when we put this stamp on it, we want to make sure we can see through that open area. On this stamp as well, there's an open area right there. We want to put this through so we can see that open area so that when we stamp these layers, they are layered correctly. Okay, and then I think for this last layer, I'm going to go in with the light orange which is actually called Orange Cream. Go. Now that one didn't line up exactly. I should have moved it over a little more, but that's okay. Still very pretty. And then for these other two, I'm actually going to go in with red. So this is called Ruby Red. Okay, so now we have our 4 stems stamped out and colored and cut out. And then we have our tulips, which you can just glue on. You can mix and match any way you want here, because they are already cut and colored. They are ready to be put on a card now. So super easy to do. We could just make a nice sky background. And these are great to do ahead of time if you, want to pre-die cut, and then all you have to do is assemble. You can do that. Here they are with the different size tulip heads. Because these are both pretty big. I mean, it's pretty simple to do, and they really do look good because they are cut right to the line when you stamp them. And again, you just want to cut the SVG file with your Silhouette or your Cricut machine, whatever electronic machine you have. I was using the Silhouette Cameo 2. And then after you cut it, you want to save the negative piece as your guide in your stamping tool, and then put your die cut pieces in there and then stamp over it. So it does make it easier to do layered stamping. And now I have these beautiful tulips. I just need to continue stamping them and cutting them out, and then I can just glue them together and make a nice layered card. So I wanted to show you guys that on how to use the SVG files. If you have any questions, post them down below. I will put a card together and post it on my Facebook and my Instagram. If you are not following me there, it's Nancy Stamps 15 on Instagram and Nancy Stamps 15 on Facebook. I would love to have you guys like those 2 pages, and I will post those cards for you. Thanks for watching, guys, and as always, keep on stamping. Bye-bye.